Today I want to talk through a framework or a way of thinking about how to know how confident you are at making content, making videos for social media. I talked through a basic version of this to someone yesterday when I was training them, and I've refined it out, drawn it out, and this is it here. So it is based on Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I'm going to butcher this, but it's basically a psychological theory. It is a pyramid. It is 5 levels that show the basic human needs required for motivation. I won't go into detail about what it is. You can go look that up yourself. But as you go up the pyramid, you have more safety, more security. You have water, food, internet. You have love. You have friendship. And then you can actually realize what you want to do and do more. Someone who knows that in detail will say, I've butchered that, but that is essentially the same concept. I don't have a name for this yet, but this is my pyramid for content creation. We're going to break it down. The letters spell out climb, C-L-I-M-B. It's kind of hard to show on camera properly. If there's enough interest, I can create a proper version of this diagram and send it to you. But the way it breaks down is it's climb. So to climb the pyramid, you have to go across each point. So it starts with being curious. So at this level of creation on social media, what you're essentially doing is just exploring, learning. You're maybe making a few things. You've maybe just started in your social media career. Maybe you're just making things for the first time. Maybe you're a subject matter expert and you've been asked to do things for social media. Low pressure. You are in a mindset of being observational. You're learning the basics and you're getting confidence slowly. So you're starting on the B. Next is messy but consistent. Messy meaning what you're creating isn't perfect. You don't have to worry about hashtags, when to post, all these different things. You're just getting better at making things. You have to create regularly and just show up consistently without an expectation of immediate success. Because too many people want to jump to the top of the pyramid. You have to understand where you are on the pyramid first so you can get the most learning. Because if you're trying to learn something up here, but you're down here, it's going to throw you off. You want to move your way up, and going up the pyramid could take a couple of weeks, could take a couple of months, could take a couple of years. It depends on you as a person. But if you're here, and a lot of people might sit in here if they're just starting to do social media consistently for their company, for themselves, you're building habits and you're learning from doing. You go from being curious to messy but consistent by, instead of just reading books, watching videos like this, you're actually getting better at implementing the things. You might get a little bit of traction. You might have a couple of videos that pop off, but as long as you're learning and doing, that puts you here. The middle of the pyramid represents a pretty confident social media creator, social media manager, someone who works in marketing who does social media, a founder who does their own social media. You would be put in the category of improving and refining if you are actively iterating and learning, actively putting stuff up, looking at it, seeing how it's done, and getting better. You're able to experiment. You're confident enough to test new things. So you're getting better at seeing the whole social media sphere as well as the little tasks that make up how you get there. So improving and refining. Most people for a part of their career will sit in here. A bunch of the people I've trained will sit in here. At this point, you can worry more about when you have to post, what you're writing in your captions. You've probably been creating for at least a couple of months, if not a couple of years. You want to learn more, you want to do more, but you're confident enough to take a task from your boss or the founder or someone else and put it into play. The next level up is L, locked in. This is for people who are very confident. You are being extremely consistent. You're experimenting a lot more. You've got videos with traction. You're able to look at those and go, what worked and what didn't. If you're locked in, you can handle tricky situations. You can deal with unideal filming environments. You know how to get more out of your phone, more out of your camera, more out of the person speaking. You know the pattern, the execution is solid, the traction is solid, and you have a very, very, very strong base. Someone can come to you with a tricky task or situation, and you know roughly how to do it. A lot of people can aspire to be in this category. If you've been doing things for a while, getting results, you'll be locked in. So again, to summarize so far, you start with being curious, then you're going at it, not really worrying about any of the details. You're just making videos to get better and learn, whether you're on camera or getting other people on camera. It's messy but consistent. And you're improving and refining. You find it easier to get more out of people when you're filming them. You find it easier to speak to camera. You find it easier to film. You find it easier to edit. You can see new equipment and go, I know how I could use that. but you're still very actively thinking about how to learn more and how to get better. Everything you do at this level is about getting better, getting more traction. But when you're locked in, you're in that perfect balance of taking in lots of new information and immediately using it. You know enough to be able to utilize a trend or something new, but you still kind of have to think about what you're doing. You still have to level up. You still have to actively go, how do I do that? And then it's the last one, which is C, which is creative freedom. In almost every situation that is thrown your way, almost every curveball, almost every mess up that happens to your camera, your phone, your microphone, people not being able to speak on camera, you're able to do it. You're able to fix it. You're able to get something from nothing. You go out to a shoot with no plan and you're able to get something that works. You know your brand, you know your company, you know your direction, you know your customer. You've been getting traction. You've been getting results. You can improvise. You can work with trends. And this is ultimately as close to peak mastery as possible, where you can literally be super creative. Almost any idea you come up with, you will find a way to do it. You don't have to worry about the execution. So I hope this doesn't sound like it's too overwhelming. Basically, the point of this pyramid is to show the rough journey that you could be going on. But for people who are lower down in the pyramid, who are looking a little bit more learning, who are looking to get more into social media and doing it as a job or as part of their job, just know that the further down you are, the less you have to worry about it being perfect. It is only whenever you're operating at the top level that every single decision you make within a video can get those extra results. But even then, it starts to curve off. So if you make a video and it's just a video, it sounds okay, it looks okay, it'll do one level of performance. If you were to get more out of the person, frame it better, have better lighting, and have a better microphone so it sounds better, you've moved up. It should then perform better. And then whenever you're near the top, it's having that extra creativity, that extra ability to go, okay, I'm watching the video back and I'm editing it. I can cut out this and cut out this, because instead of being direct and mentioning 3 points, I'll mention 2 points and imply the third, so the viewer gets the third point without us listening to it. That means that we can cut 10 seconds out of the video, so it's 40 instead of 50. Therefore, it should perform better because a higher watch time percentage will exist. Or when you're filming, you may find that you can just put the extra little bit of effort in to light the person better, put some lights behind them, maybe have them moving in different locations, know how to do certain cuts. There's a lot of myths surrounding social media that you feel like you have to worry about whenever you're learning. And that is why I wanted to put this together, to show you that as you're growing, it is only as you start hitting really big consistent views with a lot of exposure and a lot of room to expand and grow and tweak that you should really be worrying. As you are first making your videos, if you are able to deliver a clear message, a clear story, a clear value with something that looks pretty well lit, pretty well executed, it sounds pretty good, which you can get with most phones, you will be fine. What the person says is so much more important than how it's packaged. But as you move up the pyramid, you will learn that you can also have the packaging and the content, but it all starts with content. And as you're being curious and moving up, having that content first and learning, how do you get the most out of someone? How do you get them speaking on camera better? How do I speak on camera better? What's my message? Who am I speaking to? Forget the views, forget the hashtags, forget the captions, forget all this other like noise, so to speak. Just start making things, and then as you go up the list, you focus on what's better. If you find this useful, I can make a digital version I can send to you, and therefore you'll be able to digest it yourself, look at it yourself. And over time, I will be looking to make a personality type quiz thing where you'll be able to fit exactly somewhere on this pyramid, because like I said, there's no point trying to do creative freedom learning when you're at the improving and refining part. We have to learn how to get you locked in to unlock the freedom. If you're just being curious, why are you trying to lock in immediately? You have to be messy and consistent, improve and refine, and that's the main message. Why are you still watching? That's the main message.